This is Good Morning Uganda.
The trial exercise was conducted in the presence of agents of presidential candidates, representatives from political parties, civil society organizations, election observers, the Electoral Commission officials, to mention but a few.
You could be asking yourself, what is special this time round from the previous kits we're using? For the fingerprints, we're using a technology called capacitive fingerprint readers, meaning that before, in the previous years, we are using optical. It would use light to be able to read your fingerprint.
The Electoral Commission has procured a total of 109,142 voter verification kits to be used in 50,739 polling stations nationwide in the 2026 general elections.
The BVVK basically uses fingerprints and facial recognition to match voter details, which will help the presiding officer to confirm the identity of the voter as being the one on the voters register of that particular polling station.
According to the Commission officials, the voter verification kits are designed to enhance transparency, prevent multiple voting, and ensure that only eligible voters participate in the electoral process.
The system will enable the Commission to ensure that only registered voters vote during the election and that such persons do not vote more than once for the same election.
Some of the people tried with the kits have shared their experiences with the devices.
Details on the register. Now, scanning is ready. Success. The now scanning is right now. Biometric.
Success. Experimented the biometric machines that are brought in today. First of all, the process has been okay, especially if you add all the requirements. One, I came with my national ID, I was well ready, so it was checked in with the machine and it was successful. Then on the register, I was there. So as long as you're on the register, things will move so smoothly.
However, some individuals lost access to the devices after failing to submit their details to the Electoral Commission during the testing process, despite being on the register.
The reason I did not cast my vote was because I wasn't in the register that the Electoral Commission was using this morning. In the national register, I am in, and I actually know the details of my polling station, but this has been a demo, like you refer to it, so I in fact made an attempt that they should scan my details to see whether it would throw me somewhere else or show where I belong.
The Commission made adjustments in the voting dates of special interest groups.
Of special interest groups at parliamentary and local government council level.
I'm Evan Juko and Pauline Onget for UBC.
Good morning, Uganda. That is a public demonstration by the Electoral Commission on the updated voter verification kits that we are to use come the start of the election, the ballot casting season, which is the 15th of January, just a few weeks away. Can you imagine? It's been years and years of talking about the 15th of January, casting the ballots and the elections that follow thereafter. But they are here now, very near, and here for us to exercise our rights. Good morning. It's time for the agenda. And before we get and delve into the topic of the day, allow me inform you that we shall soon be having a message from the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, as he gives us his Christmas message. So it's one that you ought to look forward to. But in the meantime, let us engage in a conversation still regarding elections as we journey on to 2026 general elections here in Uganda. 0709 602 592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of the conversation. Now, more of the news that came through regarding that exercise of the demonstration. Every voter is expected to take about 1 minute plus an additional 3 to 5 seconds to undergo biometric voter verification before casting a ballot in the 2026 election. And this means that a voter will spend at least 2.5 minutes to be verified and then vote all together. It's good news that we do have the deputy spokesperson of the Electoral Commission here on set to indeed clarify the durations, the statistics as they have been reported thus far. Better to hear it from the horse's mouth. 0709 602 592. Good morning, Mr. Paul Bukenya.
Morning, Julie, and our viewers. Good morning to you all, and looking forward to yet another insightful engagement.
Right, indeed, one that is always exciting, full of learning and relearning, and a pleasure having you always. Thank you for always making the time.
Oh, I'm grateful for the invitation.
All right, now, before we even get into the detail of it, for one who hasn't been following the voter sensitization conversations that we've been having, would you care to just share the main objective of introducing the biometric machines ahead of the 2026 elections, and of course the objective of that demonstration?
Well, our viewers and our voters, we have been using, the Electoral Commission is a progressive institution. Now, since we had our first elections under the new constitution, and perhaps even a little before the constitution, in 1995, there were elections in 1994, and they were using, you know, there was a handwritten register at one point, and then it progressed into a typed register using basic programs that we had that day, spreadsheets and all that, and then the register progressed and went photographic in 2000. And then, so for the 2011 elections, we had a photographic voter registration and identification system, which was then enhanced in 2016, and to include now biometrics. The purpose of this was to enhance the credibility of the elections, to ensure that the register gets you know, enhances in terms of accuracy, to also tackle the very big challenge of multiple voting, where someone could come back and vote again, and again, and again, and again, is more than once. Because now you could not, they could easily maybe rub off the ink and come into a system, and there's no way you could detect. It was easy for someone to manipulate such a manual systems. Now with the advance of technology in voter registration systems and even identification systems, the biometrics were introduced. So the first time we used biometrics was in the 2016 general elections, and the purpose was to improve the credibility of the elections through enhanced voter identification. And the principle of one person, one vote, you know, one man, one woman, one vote is achieved. And one way of achieving that is to use biometrics. So, and it is used across the system. So it's not just on that polling day, because across the entire system of the 21.6 million registered voters, you can now say that this is a duplicate and identify it using these systems. So up to the time when you come to the polling station, we're able to intercept any attempt to do more than one, or to vote more than once. So the purpose of introducing the biometric was to enhance the credibility of the elections through enhanced voter authentication of the voter, that this is the voter and that they vote once. And basically, that's the reason why this system is up. And that's why countries around the world are using it, election management bodies, and that's why we're adopting it. And like, you know how biometrics have helped organizations, you know, coming into UBC. if you're not authorized, if you're not on the system, you can't have access by the thumbprint. So this is biometrics. And this is what we're bringing at the polling station. If you are not authenticated as a voter, you will not vote at that polling station. And that will help us to avoid, ineligible persons from voting at a polling station.
Right.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is.
Indeed, and I love that you have indeed shared the fact that it was first used in 2016 and the update is now. One would wonder, what is the difference between what we are using now, and that was used in 2016?
Well, this is now enhanced in the sense that we're using more than, we've gone beyond the fingerprints, and now we've gone into the facial recognition as well on the kit.
Right.
So while the system we used previously largely focused on or used your biometrics, your fingerprints to identify you, this has now been enhanced to include the facial recognition. So if for one reason or the other I'm not able to capture or to get your fingerprint verified on the kit, then we can do the facial. Because remember, we took your photo when you were registering. Your photo was captured, and it was captured to the standards, to the international standards. And now it means that a system that does facial recognition can read your unique features, your iris. So as opposed to the previous time where a fingerprint could fail and then we would say, now what do we do? Because for some reason the threads on your fingers can fade, can get issues. Right. But we also have disabilities. Someone could have a disability, and for some reason or the other, you may not be able to apply the thumb or any of the fingers. Remember, we took 10 fingers when we were registering for citizenship, from which we developed the national ID database. But any one of these, there could be a problem, and we may not be able to get the fingerprints read anyway, even if you have all your fingers. So that means now we'll go for the facial, and the iris is unique. Even identical twins have unique iris. Yes. Yeah, just like, even identical twins have unique. These are the two main features that distinguish us. And that's why in biometrics, in security systems that we use biometrics, it's either the iris or the fingerprint. So I think that is going to help us a lot. And that's the new added feature. Of course, the other feature is also that now we verify also and the ballot papers that are at the station, and the system, like probably will give me an opportunity to take you through that, right. And how the kit is going to be at the center of the process. Other than just identifying you, now it also assigns the ballots to that particular polling station. So now if you come with, for some reason or the other, if you're able to go and snatch a ballot paper from somewhere and sneak it to the system there, if the system at the opening of polling has not identified it as belonging to the polling station, then it will be rejected. It is stuffed. Right. So you're addressing the issue of identifying voters, but you're also identifying multiple voting, but also if someone tries to stuff, then they will not be able to do that. They will not succeed.
A comment comes through. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. And if you are just joining, we are looking at the biometric voter verification kits whose demonstration was shared to the public by the Electoral Commission, and the deputy spokesperson of the Electoral Commission is here to have this conversation with us. I extend my sincere appreciation to the Electoral Commission for the early preparations underway for the 2026 elections. Your efforts to ensure a smooth, free and fair electoral process are commendable and greatly appreciated by many Ugandans. The importance of timely and transparent elections cannot be overstated, and your commitment to this cause is a positive step toward strengthening our democracy. I particularly appreciate the emphasis on voter education, boundary delimitation, and the recruitment of competent staff to manage the electoral process. I urge you to continue engaging with stakeholders, including political parties, civil society, and the media, to ensure that the electoral process is inclusive and transparent. Thank you for your dedication to this critical process. I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor in 2026. This is Shaban Ali, who is in Soroti City. Good morning. With due respect, Mr. Bukenya, it's ironical that you continue to sanitize the current misgivings as they prevail at the Electoral Commission. What is... wow. Okay, what misgivings, if you care to share, it would be nice so that he actually responds to a particular point. But thank you so much, Andrew from Kisoro, for watching. Do share those misgivings so that you are responded to diplomatically and accurately at that. Now, Honorable Matthias Mpuga, the president of DF, alongside the other is Honorable Mubarak Munyagwa, who is the president of the Common Man's Party, are some of the politicians who have come out to argue and ask the Electoral Commission to clarify on the legal basis of implementing these mandatory biometric voter verification kits. What would you speak into these claims for clarity, especially given that they are influencing the public that is supposed to vote? In their view, biometric voter verification kits play a big role in cutting numbers for voting. Some of the ideas they shared. So in your perspective as the Electoral Commission, how would you advise them? What would you say to them? And how would you align with their school of thought?
Now, Julie and our viewers, the mandate of the Electoral Commission, according to the Constitution, is Article 60, and then you come down to Article 61, which breaks down the functions. Our mandate is to organize, conduct, and supervise elections and referenda in accordance with the Constitution. Now, our mandate to organize elections is very broad when you break down what it means to organize. So when you're organizing elections, we use so many tools. And those tools include progressive tools that are available to the Commission. For example, just even using a basic tool, now we call it basic because it is largely available, like SMS. Okay? The mandate to organize elections is broad. How have you organized the elections? How are you going to recruit? How are you going to organize administratively, logistically, everything? All those are covered in that broad mandate. When they tell you to organize a function and you start planning for it, you are within your power to employ the best tools that will help you to deliver on your mandate.
Right.
So the Commission has been using technology progressively. And, you know, as it comes in, we have been adopting, and it is in accordance with our, first of all, it is in accordance with our broad mandate to organize. I think that one is not in doubt. If the Commission says that you are going to ask you to download a form for nominations, it is embracing technology. It's being e-friendly. It is being, you know, or you're going to register online with, so all those are technologies. And these technologies extend to voting. So first of all, to address the concerns of stakeholders, embracing technology is first of all covered under our broader mandate to organize. If I tell you to organize, then you can use the best tools that are available to you in the modern world to organize. You can't remain basic, you can't remain, and you can't legislate for each detail, including how you may want me to use the internet. The internet evolves. A tool can come in tomorrow or today, which can help me deliver faster. And then I'm within my mandate under organizing to adopt that. But there is Electoral Commission is empowered under the law to adopt technology and use technology in the management of elections. And specifically when you look at a statutory instrument number 2 of 2021, it empowers the Electoral Commission to use technology in the electoral process. So there is a legal framework, there is a legal structure. What we have to do and what we need to do and what we're doing is to engage stakeholders. Do they know the technology we are employing? If anything, the stakeholders have been calling for even faster adoption of technologies. We want to vote online. That's technology. Of course, that requires amendment of the law. We want to register online. We've done online nomination systems, which is technology, and there's been no complaint. There's been no, the stakeholders have liked it. We've put the register online. Someone can now go to the voter locator and even print their particulars. So I think the use of technology in election administration is a powerful tool. It has helped us to improve on delivery of our mandate.
All right.
And it is within the law, as I've cited, specifically when you look at this statutory instrument number 12, 2021, which empowered us to use technology, which allowed us to, it says that the commission may use technology in the administration and management of elections. So we have an option to use the technology. But also behind all of that, there is the broader mandate of organizing elections. It's in the Constitution. How are you going to organize elections today in this modern world, today, and leave out technology?
So in other words, the statutory instrument that you've just quoted for us allows you to, as you use technology, you also adopt to what is playing in the world of technology in that particular moment without having to face the bureaucracy of approval with Parliament and every other processes.
While there are specifics that may require specific legislation, for example, how voting online may require amendments of laws, because right now the law requires you to present yourself physically at a polling station where you're registered as a voter. So if you are to require voting virtually or anything like that online, you may require an amendment. You may need an amendment to that. So it is clear. But you know, looking at the broader mandate to organize elections and looking at how institutions are progressing, to say that our electoral commission is out of order to use technology, I think it's not fair. Electoral commission is within its mandate to adopt appropriate technology that can help it deliver its mandate. Our mandate is to organize, conduct, and supervise elections. Now, if at one point in the course of executing your mandate, you require to use the technology, you are not breaking any law. What you need to do is to make sure that technology the voters, the stakeholders are informed, they know how to use it, and all others. Otherwise, the commission has been adopting technologies along. Like I've given you a background. When I first voted as a very young man, and in 1994, the register was different for CA elections. I've had the opportunity of seeing the register progressing through from the spreadsheets, the Word and all those things, up to going into Oracle systems and progressing now to where we are, the databases have been progressing. All that is technology. Right. Up to the point where now someone sits at their home and checks for their particulars and confirms that this is my polling station, even prints out that. So this is technology. Right. And the commission has been progressing with the technology.
Right. I can only imagine how complicated voting back then was, because...
Well, it was basic and we voted.
Indeed. The things that those who were there before you know and find easy that you don't. It's interesting how life plays out. Now, very soon, we'll definitely be going into the Christmas message of the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu of the Church of Uganda. And I do not want us to be tuned into that conversation before we learn how the biometric, the process works. You did mention that you will take us through how this kit, this updated kit works. So please give us that information. At least we leave the set knowing that that information has been well put in.
Well, at the polling station, when you get to the polling station on polling day, you as a voter, you will be required to identify yourself. You say your name. You have a national ID. That will even make it a faster process. You say your name, present your national ID, which then will be swiped with the machine, and then you know there's a barcode on your national ID which has your particulars. The moment it is swiped, your particulars come out on the machine, and it eases the identification. I saw the report that 1 minute, when you have such when you have your ID, it's actually seconds.
It's less.
It is seconds. You identified, it's Paul Bukenya, yes. If you don't have your ID, we've started issuing voter location slips. The voter location slips also have your particulars, and they have a unique, QR code that can also be read by the biometric machine. Very, very easy to do that. Then, of course, your features you'll be biometrically identified as a person. Of course, either using your thumbprint onto the machine or the face, scanning your face. So then you'll be able to progress to the point of receiving a ballot paper. Your ballot paper will be scanned to be captured, not to identify you as a voter, but to identify that it's a ballot paper that belongs to that polling station. You'll get your ballot papers, 3 ballot papers, because we're having a 3-in-1. We have presidential, parliamentary, and district. Parliamentary includes direct elected member of parliament and district woman member of parliament. Also for local government, we have district chairperson, direct councillor, and woman councillor. So our elections are 3-in-1. We always have 3 ballot boxes where the positions are contested. Where a certain position is not contested, of course, it reduces the number of boxes. And from there, the voting is normal. It is marking with a tick or a thumbprint. And then you go through the normal processes. Put the ballot paper in the box that is supposed to identified as presidential, direct member of parliament, district woman representative. And you go through the system. Then the inking is always a process that we do at the end to ensure, to mark and say that you've voted.
You voted.
And then you exit the polling station. So I think what this, the kit hopes is, first of all, to identify you as a voter, but also to assign ballot papers to that polling station. Because the reason why we scan these ballot papers is to make sure you've received 1 ballot paper and you've ticked 1 ballot paper. So if anything beyond that turns up during the counting, we know that something sneaked in. And that's how we want to avoid and to counter allegations and even practices where someone will want to ballot stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So the unit is helping us to identify you, but it is also helping us to verify the ballots that are cast. At the closure of polling, the ballot papers that have been cast on that day will still be scanned. All these ballots
at the end.
At the end, as we go into counting.
Right. One
by one. They say, as we sort, because we have been sorting, you know this process. As we sort, put everything down, we still scan it. Was this issued at the desk by the presiding officer? Was it scanned? And then we'll be able to verify that actually, besides the voters, even the ballots that are at this station belong to this station, and they have been cast as issued, and they are valid, and there is no stuffing. And that's one way of addressing some of the challenges that we've been having in the past.
Yes.
Voter identification, but also electoral malpractices.
Because some of, indeed, the political players, the candidates, were arguing that still this system might encourage voter stuffing. But
I think then that is addressed.
from the explanation you've given, that there 1 ballot paper given to an individual is scanned, and they still will be scanned.
At the end of it, you do a verification. The papers that are in the box, as you sort them out to lay them out to count, you first scan them, Does it belong to this station? Yes. Was it issued? Because when you are issued with a ballot paper, it is scanned. And that verification towards counting, it is scanned again. So I think that addresses the problem and the challenges that we've been having, where someone says, they came into the station and stuffed the boxes.
That's very profound. I hope this has helped you and answered many questions. Now let me delve into a plethora of views coming in from you, the viewer, and we do appreciate that you are watching the show, but also do appreciate the fact that you are willing to be informed so that you are a sensitized, educated and well-informed voter as you cast your ballot and exercise your right with responsibility. Good morning, Uganda. I'm very happy for Paul Bukenya to spare time and talk to the voters in regard to 2026 elections. However, my concern is how effective are they going to train the BVVK operators in handling this kit? Because I had the training for the BVVK operators will only take 2 days. Otherwise, there will be a lot of time consuming during the process. On the other hand, Security must be well prepared if and only if the voting is to be done effectively. This is Vincent Owera in Nebi District. I think you could speak into his concern. The
training of the operators will be for 5 days. And the operators have already done the introductory phase, which was 2 days. So in January, we're going to do a training of 3 days. You know, we normally train our officials towards the exercise. But there was an introductory, we were kind of onboarding them, bringing them on board. This is what the system is all about, and this is what it does. And we have recruited you for that purpose. We left them with materials. Now there is a hands-on training, like we always do. We train our election officials as we come to polling, so that they also have, they are fresh in their memory of everything. So there are 3 days of practical training with every operator on a kit. Every operator having their own kit.
Right.
How do you initiate the kit? How do you start the kit? How do you engage your credentials? How is the kit assigned to you as a presiding officer? A kit is assigned to a presiding officer. So your kit, I can't use your kit because I don't have your credentials. It's assigned to a presiding officer and a polling station. So how do you assign the kit? How do you open the station? How do you go through the processes?
So even assigning is very biometric.
It is biometric because you assign you with your...
so that in case of any loopholes, the person to answer
you're accountable, because you're totally responsible, which is why it addresses fears. You know, they will steal it, take it to another station and do what? The credentials belong to this person. Because and they are biometric. It's not just a password that I can pass on to my brother. That my password is ABCD 3457. No, it's biometric. Unless maybe I cut off my finger and I pass it on to you to go on.
Interesting.
So I think concerning training, the first level of training of operators at polling stations was a 2-day onboarding exercise. Basically bringing them on board. There is a 3-day training which is scheduled, and I hope all our trainees have been informed about that and scheduled. It's practical, everyone on a kit, and then they will go through the basics. How do you open, how do you manage the process, how do you do that? But the introduction has been done, and the engagements are ongoing because they are connected to their districts and supervisors and their trainers. And that's why you insisted that to be an operator, you must be a registered voter in that district.
Right.
Where you are, because other than that, you can't even run a kit. If I'm registered in Wakiso, I can't manage a kit that is in Masaka, for example.
Allow me use this opportunity to also ask you to just show us, in case, if any, is there a particular way we are supposed to fold our ballot papers as we throw them into a box? Is there a specific way by the Electoral Commission that we are supposed to fold these papers and then dip them into the ballot box?
Yes, and part of the voter education that you even get even on polling days, how to correctly mark and fold the ballot paper. So the ballot paper is supposed to be marked and folded lengthwise, like this, so that it's supposed to be folded like this. So when I mark my choice, after marking the candidate of my choice, Kenya poll, then I'm supposed to fold like this, and then fold the ballot paper into the ballot box. You're not supposed to do it, you know,
there are those who
the other way around.
Do this.
This is not good. Why?
This is wrong.
Because some voters use ink to mark their choices. And if you do this, you're going to spread over the ink into other spaces. And that's where we get invalid ballots. But our method of marking the ballot and actually slotting in the ballot paper is lengthwise. And the presiding officer, on handing you a ballot paper, is actually supposed to show you how to do this. It's done at the polling station. Okay, even those who know how to do it, the presiding officer by training, by default, if I can say, which is why some presiding officers actually even forward it for you and give it to you in this format. It is to avoid mistakes. Now, even if you've used the ink and it spills over, it will spill into the photo of your candidate. So during counting, there will be no question about doubt about your intention. It will be very clear. Please, let's do this. Let's not do anything else.
And I've seen some who fold, indeed, as given, and then do this.
Just fold once.
Yes.
If you do this,
they fold again, multiple times.
You don't need to do that. I think you don't need. It will complicate our time during the sorting. You know, we have to sort.
Right.
And now the sorting is going to include even verifying the ballot with the biometric kit. So it's going to probably introduce another 10 seconds or something into the process. So please just do it like this. It can fit in the box very well.
And that's enough.
That's enough.
All right. I hope you've been enlightened on how to indeed have your paper as you drop your ballot into the box. Many a times, even when we're told at polling stations, you'll realize that we make mistakes that could affect the future after 4 p.m. and that is during vote counting. So yes, we ought to be careful alongside every step. Good morning, UBC. This is a very interesting question, by the way. Munyalo Godfrey, thank you so much for always watching the show. You are from Mbale City, and you say that my question is, the rules of the Electoral Commission said that after casting a vote, you must go not far from the polling station, not less than 20 meters. Now, if the polling station is at my home and my compound is there, where can I go? Thank you very much.
I think this is interesting, like you said, and everyone is looking for an excuse to stay inside a polling station or at a polling station. But we really always reach out to our electorate and tell them, no, don't congest the polling station. The moment we gazette it as a polling station, then the guidelines that relate to management of the polling station apply. Because some of our polling stations are actually in people's compounds. The Electoral Commission doesn't have plots of land across the country. So we thank those people who offer their compounds, their facilities, even their verandas, for purposes of, because some shops close and we use a veranda or a part of a street. So this is where our polling stations are. And that's why we want to give it space so that people vote conveniently. So even when it is in your compound, the 20 meters rules apply. Otherwise, the moment we gazette it as a polling station, it is now Electoral Commission. And I think you will appreciate that. So we've guided that the polling station is not to be congested, because there are people who are saying, no, we want to be at the polling station to protect votes and all that. And I guided that candidates should have their agents. And we have a 3-in-1 election. I think we've made a case. And a candidate has 2 agents. Now, just draw a simple picture with your calculator. Yeah? We have a presidential candidates. There are 8 of them. If each candidate has 2 agents, there are already 16 people in the polling station. 16 people already in the polling station, plus our almost 8 officials that we have. That's already, 24. And then there's a 3-in-1 election. There are probably, let's use a small number of parliamentary candidates. Maybe there are 10 directly elected, or 5 directly elected candidates for directly elected. That they already have 2 times 2, it's 10. So the polling station is already your interests as a candidate and a voter are already covered by the agents in the polling station. And then there's a woman MP. She also has agents. Because, we don't trust each other. And my agent must be there. So they are observers. So we've said that, no, in order for people to conveniently vote and to protect the secrets of the ballot and the order at the polling station, we have only 1 constable at the polling station. You don't have to come to overwhelm that and to disrupt the polling process. And what happens when people gather at the polling station? They look at people coming to vote. The people, from my experience and managing the elections, that's also where campaigning takes place on polling day, which is illegal. And that's where also chaos starts. Is that you're out of order? No, you are doing this and that. So let's keep the polling station a safe place, a safe environment for everyone. And let us observe the distances that have been prescribed by the Electoral Commission, even when it is in your compound.
Good morning, Electoral Commission. One other area of vote rigging is the manipulation of declaration results. We saw results were contested during the Kawempe by-election. What is the Electoral Commission going to do differently to ensure that only correct declaration forms prepared at the polling station are used? This is Jimmy Ochen in Moroto.
Now, like we said, one of the roles that, one of the functions that has been enhanced in the biometric voter verification kit is also the management of the results at the polling station. So the declaration of results forms at the closing of the election will be scanned, and a photo of each declaration form will be taken at the polling station.
So each declaration
the voter verification kit has capacity, and it can take the volumes. The biometric, the declaration of result form will be scanned, and it becomes a reference if there is any doubt about the authenticity of a declaration of result forms. The declaration of results forms are serialized. They are particular and assigned to a polling station. But if at any point there is a question about the authenticity of a declaration of result form, then there is a reference, because the photo of before the presiding officer closes that station or closes that particular level of election, for example, presidential, because there could be 3 rounds on that day, because all the positions are contested. First of all, presidential is contested, we know that, but in some areas, member of parliament direct is not contested, it's unopposed. And in some areas, woman MP is uncontested. But let's assume all of 3 of them, like it is in many cases, are contested.
Right.
Each level of election is closed on the system. And one of closing that is to take the photo of the form that has been filled for that station. It becomes a reference, and it can help to remove doubt if you have a question about the authenticity of a declaration of results form.
Right.
So this is also another area where the BVVK is going to help us with handle and resolve any questions like that.
I hope, Jimmy Ochen in Moroto, you have been well answered. Good morning, Mr. Bokenya. I like the assurance about the biometric voter system. The presentation is good, but how effective is it when it comes to speed? What's the minimum time one can spend on the line before being identified by the system?
Well, like we said, and like yesterday we had a meeting, a demo for members of the press and some stakeholders in the process. And I've seen the preppers are saying that it's a 1 minute. Actually, it is even less than that. On your preparation, for example, make sure you have your national ID. When you state your name and you give us your national ID, it is it is a scan. Like, you know systems where you do a swipe.
Right.
When you swipe a card, how long does it take? And then the information comes on the system. And the moment it comes, then the next step is to scan your facials. It's already confirming that, yes, this is actually the person.
Right.
So that doesn't take long. It's between 25 to 30 seconds. But of course, there are some who may not have national ID cards, which is why you should go and correct your voter location slip. The parish supervisors across the country are issuing out the voter location slips. This is some exercise that started on the 15th and goes on up to the 13th of January. So you have all this time to collect your voter location slip. And it has a code that can be read by the machine in an equally shorter time. This is about swiping. But like we said, if you don't have any of those, we can also confirm and verify your particulars by scanning. You know, one of the things, and we will be coming back here with a demonstration of this.
All right, would be lovely.
One of the things that we do have also in this election that is introduced to move along with the biometrics, the National Voters Register now has a unique code, QR code, assigned to everyone. So alongside your photograph on the National Voters Register is a QR code, a quick reader code. So if you do not have any of these, you can still verify you on the National Voters Register. And then we'll scan it. And the scan is just you direct that beam towards the code, and it does it in a second.
Yeah.
It's seconds. So while we have a report of a minute, yes, maybe that's the longest, but this is an exercise. Identifying you is just a matter of seconds. Because like you say, someone walking to a reader and just putting their thumb, how long does it take to identify you?
Right.
It is seconds, it's not minutes. So the time will be enough, but we also want voters to turn up early enough, so that their station opens in time, and they go through the process in time and finish in time and count when it is still daylight.
Right. Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bukenya. Now, time is really our enemy, but and your questions are really many. But let me look at some. Someone comes through and says that, this is Bongo Dennis from Mayuge. Why is it that we Ugandans don't trust the Electoral Commission in the way that you're doing things? Like, for example, that use of the machines. How would you best answer that?
My brother from Mayuge, I always, when this question of trust comes, I always turn it back to us. For example, to
the
Mr.
sender.
Yeah. And this is not because I don't think it's a very serious question. No, I think it is serious, but I always take it back to you, because like we've mentioned, we've recruited officials from Mayuge, for example. So that would mean that we don't trust the people in Mayuge. I'm not coming to Mayuge to do an exercise at the polling station. So you are going to have this exercise in Mayuge. We are using young men and young women from Mayuge. We enrolled them. We need to support them. We need to build their confidence. We need to trust them. We are training them. You need to support them so that they deliver on their mandate. I know they are your sons and daughters. You are their uncles. You are their leaders. Don't distract them from their work. I think that's what we need to do, instead of saying that we don't trust them, because the commission are the people in Mayuge.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone here, this one you answer in a yes or no quickly. Good morning, the Deputy Speaker.
Wow, Honorable Deputy, right, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
You've been
well, prophetic.
Yes, indeed, it's very prophetic. I know, right?
Thank you.
This is Sauda. I'd like to inquire, if I vote from Kampala, can I work as a polling assistant or presiding officer in Arua?
You can't be a presiding officer in Arua when your voting details are in Kampala,
right.
Which is why we are very specific. You need to be registered in that district, so that because the biometric is going to be assigned to you, and you're going to operate in that district, it has a register for that district. And you can't be assigned when you are from another district. No. Yeah.
Good morning, UBC. Would like to know what is required to be registered as a polling agent. This is Abubakar from Nabingo. Thank you for the presentation.
Polling agents are appointed by candidates.
Right.
So I think agents, when you talk about a polling agent, that is the person who represents the interests of the agent, of the candidate. So those are, I'm not able to comment about them. But if you're talking about polling assistants, we issued the advert. I think the expiry, the deadline is tomorrow, 19th. Presiding officers and polling assistants, we call them polling assistants. But if you meant agents, then agents are appointed by the candidates. They represent candidates, and I'm not able to
Mr. Paul Bukenya, for always sparing the time. What are your parting shots?
Well, I want to encourage and urge Ugandans to participate in the ongoing final preparations. First of all, participate peacefully in the campaigns, follow our guidelines. But also we are conducting training of our election officials we've recruited. We're going to be doing a series of trainings throughout to even the Christmas period, but also in the month of January.
Right.
Political candidates appoint your agents, and this is very important. Candidates should appoint their agents so that when we are conducting training in the last phase, their agents can come and train with us so that they may know what exactly is happening at the polling stations, like we always do. We always tell candidates, please let your agents come and train with our people, so that they know the process and they don't disrupt polling day. Because on polling day, they say, now what are you doing? Now we don't understand that. So please come and train with us. But above all, on the polling dates that we've set, turn up early, keep time, and keep order at your polling station. That's your polling station, that's your area, that's your country, and you need to keep it safe.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. And that's it from this conversation. As we've been looking at the biometric voter verification kits, and Mr. Paul Bukenya, who is the deputy spokesperson of the Electoral Commission, has been speaking with us this morning. Now, as is our mandate and norm here as the national broadcaster, we indeed are looking forward to bringing to you live the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda. That is the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mogwalu's speech, and that is Christmas message for Uganda, one that we are excited to hear and to listen from him. As you can see on your screen there, he's already settled and waiting at Namirembe, where the Archbishop, it's where he is seated, and he is to give us a Christmas message. May you receive it wholeheartedly. Good morning.